This time of year, I bet your DMs are full of parents worried about the impact of Christmas on their little one, or maybe they're itching to make 2025 the year they get some sleep. Either way, understanding what makes sleep tricky over these holiday periods is key to supporting your clients. I'll be sharing the 5 biggest causes of sleep stress at this time of year and what to do about them. Stick with me to the end, as all these causes are connected and understanding the whole picture is really important. And by the way, if you're serious about supporting families in a way that's gentle and responsive, then click the link below to book a call with one of the team to see if we're a good fit to work together at the Holistic Sleep Coaching Programme. I'm Lindsay, and I'm proud to have trained over 600 fabulous professionals through the Holistic Sleep Coaching Programme, the most comprehensive evidence-based sleep programme for those who want to pursue an extraordinary business supporting families gently with sleep. Whether you love and celebrate Christmas, you're ambivalent, or you're a self-confessed Scrooge, Christmas is definitely going to impact many of your clients. So let's dive into why this season tends to be tricky for families of little ones and what you can do to support them. The first sleep struggle is that at this time of year, we tend to see more people. More people equals more unwanted opinions and unsolicited advice. This can be overwhelming and bewildering for families and lead to confusion and a pick and mix approach to sleep, where parents hear snippets of multiple pieces of advice and try lots of things all at once. It's lovely to connect with old friends and family members you rarely have contact with. But let's be honest, when you get a mix of people, you also get a mix of opinions and parenting styles, which can be hard to manage. So how to overcome this one? Well, 2 suggestions. Firstly, don't suggest your client starts anything new over Christmas. Wait till the dust settles and then review the situation. The second tip, when you take on a new client, at any time really, but especially at Christmas, is to proactively suggest that they tune out alternative advice and come back to you if they have questions. This means that they avoid mixing up the sleep suggestions too much, which can really confuse things if you're working on a new strategy and then the parent tries a new approach that their mother-in-law swears by. For example, let's say you and the family are trialling a new nap pattern and bedtime, but then the parent hears gasps of surprise from a family member or work colleague at a Christmas party, and so, in a panic, does something different. Not only could this be exactly the opposite of helpful for the child, but it can make tracking progress hard. Make sure the parents know when and how they can come back to you, and they'll feel more prepared to deal with this situation. The second sleep struggle is the New Year's resolution effect. What I mean is that many parents feel this pressure to make changes to sleep in the new year. It's very ingrained in our culture to set targets around the end of the calendar year. While goal setting is really helpful with sleep work, making the goal just because it's Christmas isn't necessarily appropriate. Not only might this be a chaotic time of year and therefore not ideal for making big plans and changing routines for little ones who might need predictability, familiarity and stability more than ever, but also it might be entirely the wrong time for the child in terms of their age or developmental stage. A child's development doesn't go on hold just because it's the 1st of January. So how can you help parents scratch that itch to do something about sleep, while also being respectful to the child in question and where they are developmentally? Well, first, suggest that there are many ways to improve the quality of adult sleep. Often, tired parents look straight at their wakeful baby, but the truth is, it's often easier and quicker to make some changes to adult sleep first. So think sleep hygiene, going to bed a bit earlier, eating well, investing in self-care, identifying and managing mental health challenges, getting some exercise, or re-evaluating household tasks and chores with their co-parent if they have one. Secondly, you could suggest they make some big, overarching goals, but break those down into manageable chunks. It may not be realistic to get to the end goal, but perhaps they can get started with making some gentle changes. Helping families to set realistic goals means they feel they're doing something, but the goal is sensible and achievable. The third sleep struggle is that when families are travelling or they have visitors, lots of decorations, lights, music, a change in the usual routine or different environments, that's a lot for little ones to cope with. On top of that, lots of people want to hold the baby. All of this can lead to a wired and tired, overstimulated and dysregulated little person. Little ones settle best with their familiar caregivers. While it might be really meaningful and important for their 98-year-old great-grandmother to have a cuddle with the baby, it's important to remember that for babies, being passed around multiple people with different voices, smells and styles of holding can be stressful. I'm not suggesting parents hold tight to their little ones and never let anyone else hold them, but equally be wary of playing past the baby. So my first tip with this one is to empower parents to put their foot down and say, "They're a bit rattled actually. Do you mind if I go into a quiet room and try and calm them down?" If people want to help, there are lots of ways they can do that. Holding a baby is possibly the least useful. My second tip is to try to arrange it so that visitors come to the new family. If they don't have space to host, this is doubly genius as they won't be able to stay long. If this is really impossible, could they meet at a neutral location where they can be in control of when they leave? Or failing that, could you suggest that they develop a secret code word with their partner or another ally who can advocate for them or make a cunning excuse? Sometimes little people just need familiarity, a quiet dark space, and less sugar. The fourth sleep struggle is that during these times of visitors or changed up routines, the usual pace and rhythm of the day can go to pieces. Our activities are different. We might go to different places or stay out in the evening. Some little ones are pretty flexible and enjoy the additional sensory input and mental stimulation. Some babies can adapt their sleeping pattern and this kind of disruption to their usual status quo doesn't really bother them. But if we're talking about a more sensitive little soul, this upheaval can make them feel really rattled. If this is the case, don't be afraid to suggest being flexible where they can and where experience has taught them that they can get away with it, but they should hold their boundary when they need to. So if their baby will fall apart without their usual bedtime sequence, then suggest they make this non-negotiable. But don't forget, if the worst happens and they're a bit cranky for a few days, all is not lost. You and your client can get back to normal soon. And finally, the fifth sleep struggle is that all of these stressors can add up to parents feeling like they're on show and that their baby needs to perform in some way. This can play out as explaining why the baby is cranky to Auntie Mary. Oh, he's not normally like this, but he's getting a cold, or excusing their babiness to some random person. Like, she's not quite herself today. The truth is, parents and babies are not on display. Their baby is likely behaving like a baby and doesn't need to have their behaviour blamed on colic, bugs, teeth, or a bad day. But this doesn't stop parents wanting everyone to see their baby the way they see them. This is totally normal, but it can make them feel like a failure and elevate their stress. It can also rob them of the joy of their first Christmas with their little one. There's a huge tendency to feel judged. Is she sleeping through yet? Is he in a routine? Is she good? When will you have another one? These questions subtly imply that if the answer is no, that either the parent, their baby, or their parenting are in some way deficient or faulty. And then the more hurtful comments like, "Ooh, you've made a rod for your back there," when parents talk about some of their responsive parenting decisions. One tip you could recommend is developing a stock answer to the "are they in a routine" kind of question that shuts it down immediately, such as, "We're doing really well, we're still figuring it out and learning about him or her, and we have some great sources of support." Or just ask, "How are you doing?" People love to talk about themselves, so getting the topic back to them is always a good idea. Building your clients up in advance fills them with confidence. Bracing them for likely stressors helps them prepare, and letting them know how and when they can contact you for advice in this season lets them know they're supported. So, There are the 5 biggest sleep stressors that I see over Christmas and some tried and tested steps you can suggest to support your clients. By reducing stress and increasing confidence, calm, and connection, families are able to find the joy and prevent their little ones from being dysregulated, because a dysregulated baby is not an optimally sleeping baby. And if you want 2025 to be the year you launch your business supporting families by blending science and evidence-based with genuinely gentle and practical sleep solutions, then book a call to see if we're a good fit. All you need to do is click the link below this video. And if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And until then, have a wonderful Christmas.